Hello Year 5 and welcome to Lesson 8 of our place value sessions, making number patterns. Okay, so this is where we're going to be using our knowledge from comparing numbers to look really closely at numbers and see what their pattern is. Is there anything that repeats in them? Is there anything that's different? What is almost the sequence? So on our In Focus task, we have been given some numbers. Now, you can write these numbers on bits of paper so that you can move them around, or you can just record them in your own writing, because sometimes that can help your brain. So I'm just recording these numbers now. So I have got 37,160, 25,160, 28,160, 31,160, and 34,160. I can see a pattern already. Each of these numbers includes 160. So the ones and the tens and the hundreds are all the same in every number, but the thousands and the 10,000s aren't. So, like Amira's done in the Let's Learn part where she's telling us how to solve the problem, she has put these numbers into ascending order, beginning with the smallest. They're going up and up and up and up till they get to the largest number, which is 37,160. She's noticed that the difference between 25 and 28 is 3,000, 25,000, 26,000, 27,000, 28,000, 3,000. She's then tested to see if that's going to continue. So 28, 29, 30, 31, another increase of 3,000, 31, 32, 33, 34, another increase of 3,000. Then we've got 34, 35, 36, 37, another increase of 3,000. She said each number is 3,000 more than the number before it. What number comes after 37,160 in the number pattern? We know the end of that number, the ones, the tens, and the hundreds, is going to be 160, as it has been for all of our numbers in our number pattern so far. But we've got a 37, and we need to add 3 more thousands. So we have 37, 38, 39, 40. Our next number would be 40,160. Sam has said he wonders what the 10th number is. Well, we can work that out. If we have this number, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our 6th number, so we need to find our 7th number, our 8th number, our 9th number, and then we can find our 10th number. Remember, they are increasing in steps of 3,000. So 40,000, 41, 42, 43,000. 160. Remembering that's staying the same every time. Then we have 43, 44, 45, 46,000. 160. 47, 48, 49. 49,160. And then to find the 10th number, we add 3 more thousands to 49. So 49, 50, 51, 52,160. So essentially, we are just looking at increasing our thousands and our 10,000s, which is why Ruby has only recorded those, because she knows that 160 is going to go on to the end of every 10,000 and every 1,000 number, because it's the same. Elliot and Hannah look at something that's a little bit different. They've still got 160 at the end of their numbers, so they know that that's going to stay the same. But not only are their 10,000 numbers changing, sometimes they're changing into 100,000s as well. So they have here 25,160, 65,160, 105,160. See how I rubbed that one out then? It's really important that you keep numbers in their correct place value. 145,160. They've said, what is the next number in this number pattern? So we need to find out what the difference is and how these numbers are increasing. So like before, we have got 160 at the end of every number. The ones, the tens and the hundreds will always stay the same. So we can record that first now. We know that it's definitely going to end like this, 160. But what we do need to find out is to look at 25 and 65. What's the difference there? If you have 25 and 65, the difference is 40. So we are adding 10,000 more, 4 10,000s more, because our 10,000 number is the one that is changing. Let's see, so if that works. So we have 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. We've added 40,000. Does that work again from 65? 65, 75, 85, 95, 105. That's another 40,000 that we've added on. 105 to 145, so 105, 115, 125, 135, 145. It does work. Now we were asked what our next number would be. So we have 145 and we have to add another 40,000 to it. 145, 155, 165, 175, 185. Our next number in the sequence would be 185,160. So, looks a little bit different from the method in the Maths No Problem book. Either you can use this method or you can use the method that has been pointed out here. Now, Ruby has some other numbers. She is increasing her number from 25,160 to 125,160, then 225,160, then 325,160. What number is she changing? Well, she's not changing her ones, her tens and her hundreds because they are still 160. Also in each of these numbers, I can see that she's got 25,000. So that number's her 1,000s and her 10,000s aren't changing either. So that must mean that the number is increasing by 100,000 each time. So here we have no 100,000s, and then we have 100,000. Then we have 200,000s, then 300,000s. What would the next one be? For your guided practice today, they've given you the number sequence and they've even highlighted the numbers that you need to look at. But the numbers that you are making next aren't always at the end or at the beginning. Sometimes they are in the middle. So if I were you, similarly to how I've worked it out here, I would write down the numbers, find what the difference is between them, and see if that number pattern works. Because although you're finding a number in the middle, if you find that correctly, then your next two answers are there. Good luck.